It's saying we're live. Big yellow button. Now, Sophie, if you just open your Q&A box.
Yeah.
If you hover over the left-hand side, then
Joining.
Sarah's here. Fantastic.
I am. Good morning.
Sarah.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, Sophie. So yeah, I was just saying to Sophie that we are live, but we're still showing 0 on the view account. So people may be able to see us because I know there's a lag, or they may not. So we'll just kind of chat for a minute or two until I see those numbers going up. There's nothing in the Q&A box yet. Usually people will post a good morning when they're in. So everything all right with you, Sarah?
Yeah, everything's fine. I forwarded you an email that I got from one of our students. I forwarded it to your Gmail address.
Oh, okay. I haven't looked at Gmail yet today.
No rush.
All right, thank you. Okay, we've got a few good mornings coming in. Morning, Nicholas. Morning, Yo. So great. Still showing 0 in my view account, but great. So yes, if you're seeing and hearing us, you should be able to spot Sophie in the screen this morning. I will introduce her properly in a minute when I'm sure everyone's here. But yeah, we have an honoured guest, so please be on your best behaviour. Right, Ryan's here. We've all got coffee, I think. I know Sophie's got her coffee. I've got mine. Sarah, you equipped with your coffee? She's gone altogether. We've lost Sarah.
No, I've I had mine earlier on, and I'll have another one.
Are you there? Oh, Sarah, what are you doing with your camera? You're flipping in and out. And now we've lost your sound.
Yeah.
There's you back.
Sorry.
You there, Sarah? We seem to have got. Sarah, what did you do to your laptop?
I'm having to reset my tablet to. I'm having a few technical issues.
Sarah, sorry, Sarah, we're losing you. You're breaking up. We're just getting bits and pieces of sound. I think it was fine until you moved. Anyway. Okay. Well, I'm just looking. I'm going to let Sarah fiddle around with something at her end. We're still seeing some good mornings coming in. Good morning, Constance. Good afternoon, I should say, to you guys. And Gyo and Nicole. Sophie, you're getting hellos as well.
Hello.
Excellent. Your sound's working fine. It's only Sarah we seem to have
It has just started raining here.
Right, yeah, but we do normally ask people to tweet their views or pictures of the weather. So if you want to send something through, feel free. It's a bit grey outside here. I don't think it's raining, but not very pretty at the moment. Right, I'm showing 22 viewers now, which is good, and lots of good mornings. So I think we should get started.
I should be back.
Oh, Sarah's beaming in.
Yeah.
Are you back, Sarah?
I am. I just had a technical issue, that's all.
Right, okay. Right, so we're all present and correct then.
Yep.
So, Patrick is saying they're in a car. He's in a car with Easter and Apple, and they're doing the hangout from the car. Now that's a first, I think. We haven't had that before. Yesterday we had, not yesterday, the other day we had someone on a train. Oh, now we've got Sarah twice. We've got 2 Sarahs in here now.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's really scary. I was just commenting on people participating in this hangout from their car. The other day, somebody was on a train and he tweeted us a picture from, I think it was Patrick, tweeted a picture from the train saying he was going home, but listening to the hangout on the train, which was good. So if anyone else has got any interesting places or ways in which they're beaming into this, just do let us know. It's always interesting because don't forget we can't see you while we're talking, so we can only see each other. I can see Sarah and Sophie, but I can't see you. So the only kind of feedback we get is if you pop something in the Q&A box or if you tweet us a picture. Right, let's get going then. I think we've got everybody. So I want to welcome Sophie formally today to the Hangout. Sophie, some of you have been speaking with already. She's one of the students based here in Southampton on the Southampton version of this module. So they're doing topic 3 this week, and you're doing topic 3 today and tomorrow. So now is a perfect time for you all to share and interact and build your networks, beyond your current groups. So I don't know, Sophie, do you want to just say hi and say a few words about why you're here?
Hi everyone. So I'm here. I'm in my final year now, doing film and English. Decided to take this module because I really like working on the web, really. And I just wanted to try and get a better idea of how the internet works and some of the platforms that I haven't used. So this week in particular, trying to build a professional profile has been quite eye-opening, actually.
What have you found this week that's particularly surprised you then, Sophie?
So I've heard of LinkedIn, of course. I have my own LinkedIn account. However, I found that LinkedIn it's not really great for students. I don't particularly think. I think the jobs that are advertised on LinkedIn are managerial positions, which I don't think graduates would be particularly keen for starting out. So I think for graduates in particular, I think using other platforms would be better to build up a resume or a CV of some kind to begin with, rather than using LinkedIn, having LinkedIn as your only professional profile.
So what ones in particular have you found useful that perhaps other people might like to try?
So About Me, I think, is a good option. But also I think just WordPress. I think WordPress allows you to be very dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is with CVs is that you have to be able to tailor them to the job that you're applying for. Whereas if you have a WordPress and you keep up to date with your WordPress, that can act as a CV, and it can actually show a far greater range of skill set, I believe, than something like LinkedIn.
Sophie, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Have you got any particular job in mind when you graduated, or do you have a company in mind that you would want to work for?
I currently do quite a lot of marketing around the university,
Right.
so that's something that I'm particularly keen for. My degree in film means that I have quite a lot of knowledge on film marketing,
Yeah.
and also film distribution, so potentially something in those areas would be particularly interesting.
I was just thinking while you were talking about whether anybody could use WordPress to link to sites of companies that they're really interested in working for, and trying to build up a kind of relationship with the kind of companies that they would want to be with before they start applying for jobs. I was wondering whether that might be a nice way of getting noticed.
Definitely, I think so.
Notice you.
Yeah, so even just last night, for example, I was trolling through Twitter, and I could see that Variety magazine, for example, the US film magazine, have a WordPress site. They use WordPress as their main website, and so it's quite easy to follow them and then interact with the posts that they then post from their website. So I think definitely you can interact that way.
Excellent.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. And I don't know if anyone has any questions for Sophie, please feel free to pop them in the Q&A box or on Twitter. We'll have a look at the tweets in a minute. So while we're just waiting for the questions, they do take a while to pop in sometimes. Just to give a quick update on where you should be right now, I've got my wonderful printout of the timetable that you should all have. And we're now on day 7, and we're on topic 3. And so by the end of today, your time, you should have done your first topic 3 post, which is all about the building a professional profile and some of the opportunities and challenges that presents. And then by the end of tomorrow, so by the end of this week, your comments and summaries on topic 3. So we're pretty much halfway through the module now, amazingly enough. know if you're finding it's going quick, or if you can't wait for it to end. But yeah, so by the end of this week we'll have done 3 complete topics, and then obviously we're just left with 4 or 5 for next week. So if you've got any questions about timings or whatever, then please beam them in.
Someone commented here that someone in our course stole Sophie's video. Edward's grasped someone up here.
I know a couple of people did use it and did cite me, which I have no problem with whatsoever. So that's absolutely fine. Just as long as you cite me, then fine.
If anyone's using it without citing you, Sophie, I'm sure someone will point this out to you or to us, or you'll be able to see. You'll be able to tell anyway from the pingbacks. So, okay, great. So, sorry, I'm just seeing another question here. Oh, it's disappeared. Someone was talking about. I remember someone was talking about Sophie before today. Sophie, your fame has clearly.
Actually, I did check my WordPress this morning, and thanks to everyone in Singapore for my 50-odd views that I had this morning. So it did put a smile on my face.
Great, that's good to see. And if you've got some comments to share, not just with Sophie, but remember, you're very welcome to interact with anyone else who's taking the UK version. I've been tweeting links to the different hashtags, so please feel free to do this with appropriate references, of course. Right, I'm just seeing if there's any other questions coming through. Ryan's saying we're all looking good. That's good to know, because he tells us if we don't. We get it straight from Ryan. Right. Clone of Sarah. Oh, yes, you've lost your alter ego now, Sarah, so we're all back to normal. Right, so we're down to the good mornings. Oh, the trained person was Edward. Yeah, sorry, Edward. I mixed you up with Patrick, didn't I? Yeah, that was great. Right, I'm going to have a screen share then and just see if there's anything come through on Twitter that we need to show to everybody. So if you bear with me a second. Right. Okay, you should be able to see the module blog now. Can you guys see that, Sarah and Sophie?
Yeah.
Right, fantastic. Oh, golly. We've got a very, can you see this? Authentic online professional profile. There's someone looking rather the worse for wear, and a little gift clip here. Excellent. Okay, right, looking at the tweets, which is what I really wanted to do. Ah, right, okay. So there's the laptop in the car with a picture of me on it. Now, how weird is that? That is really weird. I'll have to keep that one.
I'm actually really impressed that you can get Wi-Fi in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's virtually impossible in this country, even if you've got Wi-Fi on your phone. It's virtually impossible to keep a signal long enough to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, well, we'd like to hear more about how that works. I mean, it's obviously great for you in terms of flexibility of where you can beam in. But yeah, we certainly have trouble, and we have trouble on trains as well. It's hopeless trying to get Wi-Fi to work on trains. So anyway, Sophie, there's a picture of you there on a screen in Unit 4. What else have we got? There's another one of the car. Okay, and those are the earlier ones. So yeah, if you've got any more pictures to tweet, please do. But that's really weird. I can't get over that. Yeah, definitely have to keep that one. Okay, so looking at the blog then. Topic 3, I see there's some posts coming already, which is good. So, brilliant, excellent. I haven't had a chance to finish them all yet, but we will get the feedback to you as soon as we can today. Sarah, is there anything that, I'll stop sharing the screen for a minute. Is there anything you wanted to beam in with today?
No, I've started obviously started marking the next topic for some of the students, and of course your documents have all been shared with you anyway. So feel free to dip in and see if I've marked yours, and I'll just plough my way through the rest of them in the morning. So basically, just watch this space, kind of thing.
Yeah, I did quite a few last night. I've got a few more still to go. So yeah, we'll definitely get that finished for you as soon as we can. I'm just having a look at questions again. Hang on, I'm going to close a few of the questions because I keep seeing the same ones. Sometimes the questions pop up in the middle of the list rather than at the top, which is means you've got to keep scrolling through.
Oh, there's a question there for Sophie from Ryan. Have you been to Singapore?
No, I haven't. I haven't been past the Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah, that's still some way to go from the Czech Republic.
I have always wanted to go though, so maybe once university is finished, maybe I'll head over your way at some point.
Well, Ryan's visiting the university here in January, so we're going to sort something out for that, which will be good. We'll probably get him to beam into a class beam him back to Singapore via Southampton. Right, I'm just checking if there's any more questions here. People seem to like your video, Sophie.
It is really quite easy actually using Powtoon. It's one of the easiest animation sites that I've found.
Yeah, so you definitely encourage other people to have a go with that then?
Yeah, definitely. So if you haven't had any experience with video before, I think Powtoon's a really nice alternative to use if you don't have a camera, because having a camera that's good enough to take good quality footage can be quite expensive. So something like Powtoon is a good alternative.
Okay, brilliant. Right, I'm seeing a comment here about internet connection because Singapore is small. Okay, fair enough. Right. Just seeing if there's anything else here. Nope, I think we're back to the good mornings there. Okay, I had a few points I wrote down when I was looking at your topic 2s last night, and I thought I must remember to mention. I'm getting a little bit confused in some cases with names. I mean, obviously, I know you use different names at different times, which is fine, but it does make things a little bit confusing for us. We've got 1 or 2 people in our list who we've duplicated because in some cases you've used your full name, in other cases you've used part of your name, or you've used your English name instead of your Chinese name. So obviously it would be really helpful for us if you could be consistent with the names that you use on the different communications, because I think we have got 1 or 2 people duplicated. I sent you a message about that last night, Sarah. I spotted a few in the list who've come in twice. Also, bearing in mind that this topic is about building your professional profile, and on the subject of names and profiles, one or two of you have got some slightly weird descriptions of yourself that, if you read them back, don't sound terribly professional. I'm not going to name and shame anyone here, but I'm sure if you have a look at how you describe yourself in your About Me, or on the About page of your blog, or in your Twitter handle, then make sure it's something that you'd want a prospective employer to read, and not something that you might be embarrassed about at some stage. So I'm sure if you fall in that category, you know who you are. So I don't need to name you, but please check on that. It is important. It definitely makes a bad first impression if someone is looking at your stuff and the first thing they see is either bad language or just sloppy writing. Then it's not going to give a good impression. The other point was about the titles of your posts. Bear in mind that you're marketers, and if you're blogging as a marketer, you want people to actually read and respond and interact with your stuff. So the whole idea is to make it interesting and engaging, and you guys are doing that really nicely now with the images and the video and the other things that you're using. But what some of you don't seem to have thought about is the titles of your posts, and some of you have got some really quite boring post titles that don't encourage people to open them. So calling your post topic 3, for example, or my answers to topic 3 question, things like that, doesn't really inspire someone to think, oh, I wonder what's in here, why should I read it and respond to it. So see if you can come up with more kind of creative and interesting ways of describing your posts, and I'm sure you'll find that people will engage with them more as a result. And then, of course, when you tweet that, if you tweet a link to your post and it's got a catchy title, then you've done the same on Twitter as well. So you've doubled up the chance of somebody clicking on it and finding it interesting.
Actually, that I'm going to pick up on that. That's a really good point. If you've got a Twitter handle that is one set of words, and you're using another set of words for the title for your blog, and you've got another series of words that you're using for your email address, then it becomes really difficult to kind of pin down who you are. And remember that you're trying to, the whole point of this is about, if you like, marketing yourself or building up an online profile that you can use to market yourself. And so I think your naming needs to be really consistent. Now, whether you choose your own name, and I have for all of mine, you'll notice my Twitter feed, my blog, my Facebook, everything has got my name on it. Whether you choose to use your own name or whether in fact you choose to set up a pseudonym and you work under that, it doesn't really make any difference. But I think it is important to be consistent so that people can find you. If you put my name into a search, or you'll probably get most things, and they're all linked because they've all got the same name. And I thought that was important as marketing myself when I finished my PhD. And I think maybe you need to think about consistent naming. I think what's happened is it's obviously really new for lots of people, this whole blogging thing, and you've kind of gone in thinking, oh, what can I say? What can I use as a title or name that's interesting? How can I name my blog that makes it look eye-catching? And that's fine, except that it's really difficult to relate that back to you as an individual. So I would have a look at what you're using for your Twitter handles and everything, and see if maybe you want to build in a bit of consistency there.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and that very much links back to the whole topic of online identity that we were looking at the other day, and thinking about your views on that, and then putting that into practice through how you describe yourself on the various social media. Sophie, I don't know if have you got any comments on that from your perspective about naming?
Yeah, I noticed in the first week of the USM module actually that quite a few people didn't have names within their blogs. However, that changed very quickly by week 2. I think now everybody uses their name in their blog. And I think you're right. I think it's all about marketing yourself better. So I think you need to either stick with using your own name or stick with using a pseudonym. I wouldn't use one or the other, just in terms of getting yourself known to a wider audience. I think it's really important that you decide which one you would rather do. There's no problems with using a pseudonym at all if that's what you would prefer, but yeah, I would stick with one or the other. You don't see bloggers nowadays using multiple different names. You see them all using one consistent name, and then if they do decide to change their name after they've established themselves a little bit, then you see that they change their names for every single thing that they use, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, WordPress. It changes throughout.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. Right, just checking back on my list to see if there was anything else I wanted to mention. Oh yes, if any of you are still awake at 3 o'clock this afternoon UK time, which will actually be 11 o'clock. That's just the day getting started for you guys, isn't it? I noticed you were tweeting all through your night last night, up till about 4 a.m. So it's quite impressive. But yeah, if you're around at 11 o'clock your time tonight, we're doing a live broadcast on the MOOC. It's just a little experiment using Periscope, which some of you may have heard of. Periscope basically just allows you to broadcast live through an app, just to show people where you are and what you're doing precisely at that moment in time. So we're going to have a little experiment with that on the MOOC this afternoon, and people can watch it. We'll be sending a link if you wanted to watch it to see how Periscope works, and you can also interact with it as well. You can tweet to the hashtag, and then we will see your tweets coming up in real time. So if you did want to have a look at that, we can't promise it will go smoothly. We've never tried it before, and it could be a complete disaster, but we're going to give it a go. And so if any of you want to beam in, you're more than welcome.
It's really nice and easy to use, actually, Periscope.
Great.
I use it quite a lot, and you can connect it with your Twitter. So when you go live, you can send a tweet out which will directly say that you have gone live. So it makes it a lot easier to be able to use Twitter and Periscope at the same time.
Brilliant. Okay, so what have you used it for, Sophie?
So as my role, I'm the head of marketing for the university's television station. And so we try to use a variety of different platforms to get the message out. And occasionally we use Periscope for live streams of our live broadcasts, so people can get an idea of what we do behind the scenes, because a lot of the time quite a few people wonder how we actually put these shows on. and so we give them a live stream through Periscope to see who the director is, who the producer is, and what their roles actually entail. And then this allows people to think whether or not they then want to consider doing the same role on another live show.
Brilliant. That's a really good example, because that's exactly what we're going to be asking people to think about on the MOOC. Is what we're going to be talking about is probably only marginally interesting, but I think the real experience for people will be in them thinking about how they could use the tool in their own situation to either promote themselves or their company or the charity that they work for, or whatever it is. And this whole notion of sort of real-time behind-the-scenes stuff can be incredibly interesting to your key customers or your key stakeholders in whatever group you're a member of. So being able to sort of pretty much on the fly broadcast what you're doing, it can be really powerful as a marketing tool. So we're going to give it a go anyway and see how we get on. So please feel free to have a look. And then it does. We will be saving it to YouTube. The other thing about Periscope is that because it focuses on real time, it's only available for an hour. So your video will just disappear from Periscope very quickly unless you save it somewhere as soon as you've finished it. So we'll be doing that just so we've got a record of what was said and how it worked. So anyway, I'll send that to you afterwards. Okay. Let's see if there's any other questions. Let's have a look. We will sign off shortly if there aren't. So if there is anything else you wanted to ask, please pop a question in. No, I'm not seeing anything new. I'm just going to have one more look at Twitter, so bear with me a second. Right. Any more pictures on Twitter? No, we've seen those. Oh, you're quite quiet on the picture front today. Don't forget as well, I did mention this yesterday, we have now got a link from the YouTube account. So all of these Hangouts are saved to YouTube, and then you can link to them from the blog here. So if there's anything you wanted to check back on, all the links are there above your own blog links. So great, there's loads of stuff coming up in here now. So Sarah, can you see any final questions?
Hang on, I'm just coming back. I've just been having a look at Twitter, and I've just posted. I've got 48 notifications in my feed. Most of them are from you guys, from you students, so, which is lovely. I don't normally get that many. Okay, so Jun Y, a question for Sophie, just a random question. Have you watched Drake's latest music video?
Oh, I haven't, no. Controversially, I'm not much of a music person, that much. Much more of a film person. So, but I will definitely check it out.
Okay. So is there a particular reason why Sophie should watch this that we're missing?
Yeah, let me know, I'm intrigued.
Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. There's nothing else on Twitter then, Sarah?
No, not that I can see.
Okay.
Let's have a quick flip back over.
I'm not seeing any more on the Q&A here. If everyone is happy, then please feel free to send through your smiley faces or whatever, just to show that you're okay, you're up to speed, you know what's happening. That'll give us a little bit of feedback. That'll be really useful. Otherwise, we'll probably just witter a bit in summary and then sign off. So anything else either of you guys would like to add before we finish?
No, don't think so. Like I said, I will keep. I'm going to be marking this morning and through. I'll hope to be finished by lunchtime. But I've got a busy morning, so cut me a bit of slack, please, if you can. That would be lovely. But yeah. I will do, obviously, it's top priority, and I'll do it as soon as I can.
And then when Sarah, Nick and I are meeting up after the Periscope session this afternoon, just to compare notes on the marking and make sure we're all up to speed. So we'll get that finished off for you. There's a question about the weekend. Well, no, you actually get Saturday and Sunday off, bizarrely. We don't, but obviously if you want to get up to speed with your own profiles, particularly having just finished topic 3. You should find that top of your mind. If you really want to do some work over the weekend, I'm sure there's plenty you can be doing on that side, and thinking about your final post. And then we'll be starting topic 4 officially on Monday. We can pop the, if anyone's really keen, we can pop the question up over the weekend so it's there for you beforehand if you wish. Okay, and we're getting a happy face. Thank you for today's hangout. Great, that's good. It's always nice to get a thank you. Ryan, are you saying you posted some photos, Ryan, that we haven't mentioned? I'm not sure where those have gone, but I didn't see any more when I looked back just now.
No, I didn't. I haven't seen any more either. I'm just on. Did you use the hashtag, Ryan? I'm sure you did, but no, they're not appearing at the moment. The last tweet on Twitter is the one I've just put in about oh no, there's another car shot.
Oh right, excellent.
Okay, but yeah, no, I don't know when did you post them, Ryan? Was it quite a while ago? No, I'm not seeing them, Ryan. I'm afraid they're not in there at the moment.
Okay, I'm sure they will appear. There was a question I saw here about your Wi-Fi on the boat.
Oh yes. Well,
saying they're very impressed with how you get your Wi-Fi on your boat.
Well, I have to do it through my tablet. I've got a SIM, a data SIM, sitting in my tablet, and so my tablet acts like a router, and I connect all my devices through that. It's a bit expensive, but it does, it does work. I can also access my neighbour's Wi-Fi, but the trouble with that is the signal isn't particularly strong. So I certainly couldn't do a video hangout using that. There's just not enough bandwidth left, which is why I use mobile broadband. Right. So we're actually costing you a pot of money then, are we? Yeah, you are. But I'm enjoying it so much it doesn't matter. It's not that bad. These hangouts don't use a huge amount of data, so it's okay. It's all good. Great. Okay. I spotted another comment about the music video, which is gone again. Did you see it, Sophie?
Yeah, I did. Recent trending music video. Won't want my future superiors to see me dancing like that.
Okay. Well,
you want to job as a bad dancer or not?
We've not seen it, so we can't comment. But yes, that is the general point, isn't it? That the whole thing about this professional profile business is that you don't want anything that would put you in a bad light with employers or future colleagues or whoever. Yeah. You want there forever on the internet to embarrass you in the future. So okay, Sophie, you're getting thank yous from Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So have you enjoyed it, Sophie?
I have. This has been an experience. I've never done a hangout before, but they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're great. So perhaps Susie will start doing this, and we'll have shown you guys something for once.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I'll show it to the other groups.
I'm sure it will get tweeted around a bit over the next few hours anyway. So feel free to ping it around, Susie. Oh, Remu's posted a comment. Can we come up with other ways? Oh, actually, we might have covered this. Actually, I've only just spotted her comment. So she says, "Can we come up with other ways that aren't mentioned in the articles you have given to develop a professional portfolio?" But we've kind of covered that in the discussion that we had earlier, haven't we, about using WordPress and... Yes, no, I mean, we're certainly very flexible. If you've come up with something that you think is particularly useful and relevant to you that isn't part of the standard package, then fine. As long as you can sort of explain why you found it useful and sort of document how it benefits you, then that's perfectly fine.
I would recommend, if you're looking for to create a professional portfolio, using Pathbrite. It's an e-portfolio soft system online, and it's really easy to use, and you can then connect that to your LinkedIn and WordPress, I believe. Okay,
perhaps you could tweet us a link to it after, Sophie.
Yeah, I will do.
And then people can check it out. That'll be great. All right. Okay, I think we're probably done now. Final check of the questions. Okay. Right, so I want to thank Sophie then for joining us at this unearthly hour of the morning.
That's all right. I was awake. If you had asked me at about 10 o'clock at night, it'll be a no. I'll be asleep by that point.
All right, you're in a different time scale then to the Singapore students.
Yeah.
You only get going about 10 o'clock at night. I noticed a few people had tweeted beforehand that they were feeling tired, and was it 4 o'clock in the afternoon? So that's early for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to sign off now then, and we'll be back again same time tomorrow. So thanks for joining us, and so check your feedback forms, and they should all be finished later on today for you, so you can crack on with the next topic. So you're going to say goodbye, people, or any final comments?
No, bye everybody. Have a good weekend. See you next week.
No, we're on Thursday today. It's not the weekend yet.
Sorry. In that case, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Okay. Right. We're gonna wave goodbye and see you tomorrow. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Bye.